Coming up on the Paper Talk today, the Super League could be back on. A landmark ruling by the European Courts of Justice. What does this mean? Does it mean we're going to see Super League 2.0? Let's find out. Jay here from Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford and we might just blow away in a minute. It is proper windy, so be careful out there if you are travelling, because there's all sorts of things flying all over the gaff. We'll get into it. Breaking news, there's been a landmark ruling. I do love a nice landmark ruling about the European Super League. I'm not sure if I love this one though. The European Courts of Justice has ruled this morning that basically UEFA and FIFA acted illegally in blocking the Super League. You remember the European Super League, you remember the furore about it, you remember the protests here. I mean, let's have it right. The protest that Manchester United fans did about the European Super League when we got the Liverpool game postponed weren't just about the Super League. It was about the Glazer ownership going back to 2005 and how annoyed we were and upset we were and angry we were at the mismanagement, the debt they'd put us in, all the rest of it. But the Super League was just like basically the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people. So we saw those protests. We also saw protests at other grounds across the country as well. Some more than others, let's be honest about it. I think Chelsea had a pretty big protest where they stopped the coach getting into the ground or whatever. Other clubs were a bit more lukewarm, or other fans were a bit more lukewarm. But there was a big reaction to it. Not just obviously in England, but also in other countries as well. However, the Super League went away for a bit. It was done. It wasn't happening. There was no Super League. However, it could be back on now, and it looks like it probably will be in some form, because the European Court of Justice has made this landmark ruling saying that basically UEFA and FIFA can't have a monopoly on football. So if another league wants to start and if clubs want to join it, then it looks like they're going to be able to. Now, it's been reported everywhere, but I think I read in The Independent they were saying that this ruling could be bigger than the Bosman ruling. This could really shake up football. Now, those of you who are my age, you may remember the Bosman ruling, but I'm sure you've all heard of it or know about it. You might not know it as the Bosman ruling, but what happened was, I think it was in the early 90s, around that time, I think it was Jean-Marc Bosman, who's a Belgian player, couldn't move clubs even though his contract ended because clubs couldn't agree a fee. Went to court. They said, I tell you what, when your contract ends at a club, you can go. You've fulfilled your contract, you're free to leave. Now, we have seen countless players since then move once the contract ends. We've seen it here at Old Trafford not that long ago when we saw Cavani and Lingard and Pogba and all the rest of it go. So you get how important and seminal that decision was. Now, this decision today, this ruling by the European Courts of Justice, is being labelled bigger than Bosman and something that could shake up football. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but the likelihood is now we're going to see some form of attempt at another Super League, because if this ruling is saying, look, you can have another league. If clubs want to join it, then they're free to do so. If that's what this means, and it looks like it does, then I'd be very surprised if we don't see the European Super League 2.0. Let's not forget, when that Super League was announced, it was a shambles. There was no real media, there was no promotion, there was no players backing it, ex-players backing it, no, sort of video put out there or socials put out there where you can go, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is why it's going to be great. It was basically an announcement going, oh yeah, by the way, there's going to be a Super League and no one's going to get promoted or relegated, it's going to be the same sort of teams in it, thanks. And everyone's like, what? What is this? This isn't what football is about. This isn't what we want. We don't want a set sort of league where you can't get in or out of it, you're just stuck with it. It didn't make any sense, and we also don't want a league where certain European clubs aren't going to be in it, because I think there was 12 teams in it at first, and there was like certain big teams that weren't in it. So everyone's like, this doesn't feel like competition. This doesn't feel like something we want to be part of. Certainly here at Manchester United, spoke to a lot of fans, and I myself wasn't for it. We've got a big tie to the European Cup, Champions League, the first English club to win it. Pioneers in it. Sir Matt Busby went up against the FA and took us into Europe. We paid the ultimate price in Europe, don't forget, with the Munich air crash, and then 10 years later we won that competition. So we're very much sort of, ingrained in the fabric of the European Cup, Champions League. But it looks like now we may see another competition forming. We'll have to wait and see how this develops. What's going to happen now? Are we going to see the same European Super League, the same teams, are different clubs going to try and get in there? Is there going to be a different sort of structure? Are UEFA and FIFA going to try and work with other bodies? I don't know, but this is obviously a very, very important ruling, so we will keep you posted when we know more about it. We've been posting on our socials about it already, and it's ones you can read through the nuts and bolts of the decision. I'm not going to try and read the actual legal jargon, because we'll be here all day and I'll bore you all to tears. In other news, because there is other news, so Jim Ratcliffe, according to the Daily Mail, is set to wield the axe with some staff. He's set to go on a cost-cutting exercise here by getting rid of staff. I think there's more staff here at Manchester United than at any other Premier League club. I think we've got over 1,100 staff members. Other clubs have around, I think City have around 700, Liverpool around 900. So Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to go on a bit of a cost-cutting exercise, according to the Daily Mail, and could be set to wield the axe with certain jobs. I don't think he's going to go and, you know, sack all the coaching staff, or you never know. I think we're talking about more like general staff at the club. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one, but yeah, it could be quite a worrying time if you're working at a club and you hear things like that. You could be set to lose your job, especially, I know you're not going to lose your job before Christmas, but especially when Christmas is here and then you're getting a bit of news like, hey up, I could be out of a job soon. Not nice. And I do feel for anyone that is facing the prospects of redundancy or losing a job, but we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one. Other little bits and pieces as well. There's a story about Jurgen Klopp. It's doing the rounds. Jurgen Klopp having a bit of a whinge, as he likes to do. He moaned about a couple of things last night. You think when your team wins, was it 5-1, Liverpool beat West Ham, you'd be happy? No, not Jurgen Klopp. He's moaning about the atmosphere. It's funny, isn't it? Jurgen Klopp moans about the atmosphere. Oh, Liverpool fans are like, oh, right, okay. Andre Onana questions the atmosphere, or Gary Neville questions the atmosphere, and everyone's up in arms about it. But yeah, he's had a bit of a pop at Liverpool fans and the atmosphere. You might say, what's this got to do with United? I'll get to United in a minute. But it's quite funny, because I think when you hear managers saying that, he was saying if you don't feel up for it, give your ticket to someone else, or, you know, something like that. Basically encouraging fans that want to sing and chant to go to the ground. Let's not forget, clubs covet, right? And I'm not knocking these people that go to the game. They covet day trippers. Clubs want fans to come to the ground, have the whole match day experience. They might never have been before. They spend loads of money. They're not necessarily fans that know all the chants, know all the songs. They might just be there with the family. They might not even, get on this one, be fans of the club, the team. They might not be. They might be fans that are just there for the day and want to go and see a game. Well, let's go and watch Liverpool, whatever. Those are the kind of fans that the clubs go after and want to encourage to come to stadiums. So it's a bit rich for me for a manager to start calling out his own fans, especially when you look at some of the prices for tickets as well, when you see working class fans getting priced out. So whilst I always like to have a good laugh at Liverpool moaning, Liverpool fans moaning or getting criticised, Liverpool manager moaning about the fans, I should say, I do think you need to look at the reasons why the atmosphere, not just at Anfield, but other clubs as well, other grounds, might not be what it should be. And it's not just because fans can't be bothered or the usual fans can't go. In some cases it is, but in other cases it's a bit deeper than that. Also on Klopp as well, while he was on his moaning, he mentioned Manchester United being defensive in the 0-0 draw, because you know what, he's never got over it, has he? He keeps going on about it. Liverpool keep going on about it, because United didn't just roll over and die when we went to Anfield. We actually defended. Shock, horror. He was having a bit of a pop of that, saying about how he had 34 shots and the keeper made a load of save, and is he allowed to say that United defended? Let's not forget, right, when we went to Anfield, we had the better chances. The two best chances in that game fell to Manchester United. Also, Andre Onana made the kind of saves I could make. I'm not knocking the kid, because he did his job, but he didn't make any spectacular saves. Like, how's he kept that out? It was all shots from range straight at him. The biggest save he had to make, I think, was a Van Dijk header, which was just above his head. So let's not pretend Liverpool were all over us and that it was some sort of attacking masterclass. Jurgen Klopp couldn't beat a team that had just been battered 3-0 at home to Bournemouth, right? It's his fault he didn't win, not Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag got his tactics right. Jurgen Klopp got them wrong. That's my opinion. If you disagree or agree, get involved in the comments and the chat. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the European Super League. We're going to be back later on today with Off the Bar. We're going to have the preview as well to the West Ham game, another big game from Manchester United this weekend. We'll be here for the watch along as well. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. And don't forget, we're coming to Dublin on the 28th of December. Me, Joe, Macola, Howson and Wes Brown, the hardest man in all the town. There's a link in the description. There's still tickets available, but not many. So get on that. Get your tickets. Come over to Dublin and come and watch us. We'll have a good old laugh. I'm going to leave it there. This has been the Paper Talk outside a very windy Old Trafford. I'm actually spitting. Excuse me. Thanks for watching.